Welcome back to the show, everybody. Check it out. The SEC finally tracks one down. We'll explain. U.S. Senator wants to ban crypto. Oh, really? Well, get this. Binance delisting all U.S. cryptocurrencies. We're going to talk about it. This isn't just a demolition. This is a transformation. You're going to see evidence of it before you leave out of here today. And quite possibly the new NYSE for crypto and so much more. SEC getting sued. I told you we'd have some good news in this thing. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. Man, do I love the smell of crypto in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening. I love it. Eat, sleep, repeat. That's it. Crypto. That's all you got to do. Right now, $1 trillion plus market cap. We're off by 1%. Bitcoin right now, 24,200 plus. Ethereum, 1,600 plus. Tether market cap, 70.2 billion, they say. I tell you, this market isn't really healthy until we know how the government and regulators feel about Tether. Period. Full stop for me. Not financial advice. 39 cents for XRP. We're up 2% on the 7-day. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you what's going on here. And we are getting incredible response about XRP Las Vegas. Who needs Bitcoin Miami? Good for them. Love them. I hope they make a gazillion dollars. We got XRP Las Vegas, ladies and gentlemen, and we're always going to have it from now on. And don't miss the inaugural event, 77 days, 7 hours plus from now. Get your ticket now. And I don't mind telling you, there's going to be food, there's going to be special room rates for attendees, but click the link and book your room. The seats for the event are limited, and the seats and the rooms that are available for attendees, absolutely limited. Discounted rates. Don't mess around, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's get into this. SEC charges Terraform CEO Dow Kwan with defrauding investors in crypto schemes. Really? Now you want to chase him down? Where in the hell have you been? Oh, that's right. You've been suing legitimate companies like Library and Ripple. Silly me. Now I know. Then we look at this. Senator Sherrod Brown. You know, when is it time to hang the gone fishing sign, Senator Brown? Maybe now? He has called for a comprehensive regulatory framework for cryptocurrencies. Oh, that sounds mild. It actually even sounds responsible. But don't go too far, ladies and gentlemen. Because what he's really calling for has been a long skeptic of cryptocurrency, and in December last year, he suggested that crypto should maybe be banned. This is what we're watching take place here. And I've got something for you to consider before we get out of here. Let us not forget, ladies and gentlemen, as Mr. Huber here shares with us, ho, 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 look at that. Look who Ethereum bull and CFTC chairman Heath Tarbett's mentor was at Sullivan Cromwell, Jay Clayton. Well, now I'm getting in the game. You know, it seems very incestuous the way these people are hooked together in the legal end, the private sector, the regulatory world. It's like, you know, something really needs to be done to put clear boundaries, I believe. Look, it could be as simple as just like in politics, right? I mean, they'll never do it because they know it's the right thing to do. Not right nor left will do it. It'll be the one thing they always agree on is they will not set term limits. You should be able to abolish the phrase career politician. That should not even be a phrase that exists as a meaning. That's going to solve a lot of problems right there. And here you could do the same thing. You could never be appointed to a regulatory body or whatever more than once or twice in a so many year time span. I mean, it'd be very easy to clean a lot of this stuff up. ETHgate evidence keeps rolling in. It really does. Don't forget that the ETHgate, the facts are not in dispute. The free pass was in fact a free pass. There's no question about that in my mind. And brace yourself, ladies and gentlemen. This just in, knowing Gary Gensler did it, this just in. But seriously, folks, it is serious what we're watching happen here. We know that Gensler's just made the announcement about qualified custodians. Binance can see the writing where this is going on the wall. Watcher Guru shares here, Binance is to consider delisting all U.S.-based cryptocurrencies from Bloomberg reports. How about that? Now, I want you to think about that for a minute. Then think about this. Bakkt acquires digital asset custody company partner, and you know they're partnered with BNY Mellon, right? So this is just a reminder that, remember Bakkt? Do you remember Bakkt? Boy, it's been awfully quiet, hasn't it? Intercontinental Exchange owns Bakkt. And what else do they own? Oh, that's right. The Intercontinental Exchange, known as ICE, also owns the New York Stock Exchange. And they've been awfully quiet during this time of uncertainty, but they have not gone away. I can assure you that. My speculation happens to be in the neighborhood of wondering if we're watching this controlled demolition of crypto, has me thinking, what if Bakkt, owned by the parent company of the New York Stock Exchange, becomes in fact the New York Stock Exchange for what's left of crypto after the transformation/controlled demolition? They've been awfully quiet, just saying. It really is true. Now I want to play for you something that may brighten your day a little bit. The SEC being sued. I sat down with Fred Rispoli, and I want to share with you what he's got going on. And it's based around Ethereum, ladies and gentlemen. Check it out. Okay, so now that isn't the only thing that you have going on, Fred. You also, and by the way, I find this to be a what's good for the goose is good for the gander. The SEC likes to sue the daylights out of everybody, and that's true. But now you're suing the SEC. Tell us why, Fred.
All right. We are suing the SEC, HODL Law. And if you go on to the Twitter handle for HODL Law, which is at HODL_law, we have updates on the SEC's case. But we're doing a declaratory action against the SEC. And what that is that's just when you file a lawsuit, it can be in a lot of different contexts, but say, there's a federal issue here. In this case, it's the Securities Act. And we want to know what HODL Law's rights are. So the plaintiff in this case is HODL Law, the Arizona firm. We've got an Arizona and a California firm. And the HODL Law, our law firm, we advise clients on crypto-related issues, crypto transactions, but we also utilize crypto day to day. A lot of different cryptos, but the firm utilizes Ethereum. We use the Ethereum network to go back and forth with Ethereum transactions. Also, you use the Ethereum network, or we use the Ethereum network for ERC-20 tokens. And a lot of metaverse projects that HODL Law is working on are based on Ethereum network metaverse projects. So we engage in use of the network and go back and forth exchanging the token, Ethereum. And the SEC won't tell us if that's unregistered securities transactions or not. And people have been asking for years and years. HODL Law is new, so we've only been asking for a little bit. But SEC is like, we're not going to tell you if you're breaking the law, but we'll reserve our right to sue you at an unknown point in the future. And so, we said we're not going to wait for this. We're going to get what our rights are. We're going to get a judge to tell us. And we filed suit. This one is in the Southern District of California. And the SEC just responded. Now, the SEC could have responded two real simple ways. They could have said, hey, HODL Law and this Rispoli guy are crazy. Ethereum's not a security. We had this whole speech by Bill Hinman saying it's not. It's not a security, case closed. He's right. They did not do that. They could have also responded and said, no, Ethereum is a security, and we're going to go through with this case to tell you why, Your Honor. They also did not do that. What they did do is file a motion to dismiss saying HODL law doesn't get to know whether we think Ethereum's a security or not. And what it's doing with Ethereum, we don't have to tell them whether that's illegal or not, but we reserve our right to bring an action against them at some unknown date in the future. And so our firm is going to file an opposition to that. They'll file their reply. Anybody who watches the SEC Ripple case is well aware of the replies and oppositions and replies at times. So, but the hearing is March 13th. And, if it is going to be a public hearing, or if we actually get to go forward with the hearing, or if the court is just going to decide on the papers, follow HODL_law for updates on that. But it's telling that the SEC, didn't answer one way or the other. And, I just caution everybody, it's because they want to reserve their right to go after Ethereum at some future point. And, nobody's safe. I wouldn't even be surprised if at some point they go back and say, Bitcoin really has a lot of security-like features and other things you can do with Bitcoin are security. So now we're going to go after that too.
Nothing would surprise me at this point, right? I mean, the only thing that actually is really surprising here is that the guy who preaches about transparency and coming in and being open, Gary Gensler, I'm talking about from the SEC, talks all this game about transparency and clarity and all these things, and gives you a response that says, not only am I not going to tell you, but I want you to be aware that I reserve the right to take action and sue you, even though I didn't tell you and you just asked.
Yeah, I mean, it's just bonkers. And, there's a lot of confusion out there. Nobody that is a longtime audience member with your show is going to wonder what I'm talking about there with all the confusion that the SEC purposely gives out. And it's just, the argument that I'm going to give to the court for the firm is, Your Honor, if using Ethereum as a security and it's illegal, we'll stop. And if it's not, we're going to keep doing it. We just want to know. And there's only one agency out there who's got jurisdiction over securities, the SEC, and they won't tell us. So now we're asking you to force them, or for you to make a determination whether it is or it isn't. And we just want to know that. I mean, it's basic, fundamental principles of American justice, which is, you got to know if what you're doing is legal or not. And, the cop on the beat is refusing to say if, that's illegal or not. So it's extremely frustrating. It's been frustrating for years and years for industry participants. And, we're not going to take it anymore. And there's only a few companies that fight the SEC, Ripple, Library, the CAC Interactive case, that was one. Now in all those cases, the SEC attacked those companies, and rather than roll over, they decided to fight back. But in this case, in the Ethereum declaratory action, our firm is leading the charge, and we're suing the SEC. So they're in the very unfamiliar position of being a defendant. And, instead of doing the right thing and giving an answer, they're saying, we don't have to tell you anything. So it's interesting to see what happens when the shoe's on the other foot.
It is. And I tell you, it is just lunacy when you think about this. I always think of the analogy, if I was on a highway with no speed limits, and then I pulled into a convenience station and I saw a cop in there getting coffee and a donut. And I say, hey, what's the speed limit out here? Because I don't want to speed. I want to know what the limit is. And then the cop tells you, well, you just know that if I want to stop you, whether it's today or a week or a month from now, I can stop you and just decide to give you a ticket or sue you or whatever. And it's, to me, that is just like, what in the world is going on? Fred, I know lawyers are not much for speculation, but I have to ask the question, does any of this feel deliberate from the SEC to bring about this lack of clarity? Who benefits from such suppression like this?
Well, I love speculating, so I'll speculate all day long. But
you're in the right place, Fred.
What you have to realize is, I love the U.S. Constitution. I think it's a great document. But when people talk about the Constitution says this or that or whatever, at the end of the day, and this is just the way life is the Constitution is just a piece of paper. And if everybody's going to ignore what something in the Constitution says, then it doesn't matter. It's meaningless. If enough people are going to enforce it and abide by it, well, then it's a very important document that lays out, fundamental rights and privileges. And so when we take that, a little bit closer to the crypto world, we've got this industry where nobody from a regulatory standpoint seems to have a firm grasp of what's going on. Most of the regulators are in an age bracket where this is very difficult for them to grasp. And it's not like it's new. In a sense, this happened with the internet, and it was, unclear for a while, but then everybody decided to wrap their heads around it. In the crypto case, it's just moving a lot faster than the internet was. I mean, I bet a lot of people, probably not everybody actually, I bet you've got a younger audience, but when we had the internet, you dialed up on a modem phone, it was super slow. So it wasn't moving nearly as fast as the crypto world. And you've got a lot of, when talking about payments and moving money and value, you've got a thick layer of middlemen that siphon off money every which way. And so a lot of people are threatened by that. A lot of people that are close with people in the SEC are threatened by that. And I think, could there be some more nefarious, high level conspiracies going on? Yes, definitely. And I would say that there probably is an element of that, but I think the simpler explanation is we've got an agency who wants to expand their turf and get more powerful. That's the same old story in government. How do we expand, get bigger? And nobody's slapping them on the wrist from Congress. So why not do a land grab for as much as you can get?
I tell you, sometimes it is just that simple, isn't it, Fred?
Yeah, and I mean, that's the, that's to me, in my speculation, that's what it is. I mean, there could be some grander things at play or elements of it, but I think the just simple explanation is we want this power grab, we want this money grab. They just got 30 million from Kraken. That's not going to any investors that got hurt. It's just, a paycheck that goes right to the SEC. I mean, that's a lot of money that, now you can fund a lot of other things with. So why not try and get all that money and get all that power if no one's going to tell you no?
100%. Fred, don't go anywhere. This is Fred Rispoli from HODL Law. Is it .com, Fred?
.org.
.org.
Somebody had .com, Brad. I couldn't get it.
Couldn't have it. But that's our age, right? We understand. But at this day and age, long as you got the address, it doesn't carry the weight to .com anymore, right? So it's hodl.org. That's where you're at. They can find you.
HODLlaw.org.
Oh, I'm sorry, hodllaw.org. See if I can mess that up one more time for you. HODLlaw.org.
And then I'm at on Twitter. I'm at Freddie Riz, FreddyRiz.
Absolutely. And you know what? I hope that you'll come back here when you get some more information, Fred, and update us on both of those cases and what's happening.
Definitely will. Thanks again for having me.
Thank you. Don't go anywhere, man. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I tell you, shout out to Freddie for that one. And as we watch what's taking place, and let us not forget the announcement from Gary Gensler just 2 days ago about qualified custodians for the real money from institutions to show up. The first thing you have to do is have custody figured out. And it sounds like we're on the precipice of seeing that actually unfold and take place. And once it does, will back rise out of the ashes like a lion in the bush and become the NYSE for crypto. At least what's left. I have no idea. I'm speculating. But I tell you what, I love watching it unfold, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't done it, make sure you take a look at this. It's I Trust Capital, ladies and gentlemen. Crypto IRAs. Retail investors can't get institutional custody, but you can when you work with I Trust Capital, because that's exactly what happens to the crypto that you own. They have no access to it. There's no commingled funds. Everything's done in complete compliance and regulatory standard fashion. Roll over your 401k. Check out all the amazing things that they offer. But more importantly, know this. You have institutional custody as a retail investor, and you're buying your crypto tax-free. That's going to do it for me. I'll catch all of you on the next one.